So when you're talking about your footwork, I want you to start thinking about the idea of what your legs are doing. Your legs are made of bones and tendons and ligaments and muscles, and they serve a purpose other than to just hold you up. Now the purpose is not just locomotive, but they are in fact a source of power generation. In fact, your hips are your primary engine for power generation. So one of the things that you see common in martial arts, your muscles basically, well, let me rephrase that, your joints basically flex and extend and rotate. And that's about it in simple terms, and then of course any combination of those things. But that's about all our joints do, and they have limited capacity to do so. So most of the time when we think about generating power, we think about generating torque, which is driven from the hips and the legs. We think about generating forward momentum, sinking, rising. These are all good things, but where is your connection to the earth? It's through your feet. Now, for years people have said your core is everything, everything radiates out from the core. Yes, this is true, but your connection to the earth is not your core, the connection to the earth is your legs. Therefore, your entire posterior chain is the most important thing. We're rear wheel drive, right? So posterior chain, prime importance. Deadlifts, squats, bridging. These things are extremely, extremely, extremely important. But understand that when you are driving from the ground, whether you are torquing, whether you are sinking, whether you are rising, it doesn't matter. You should be forcing your feet against the ground. In all cases, including drop stepping, the only time that you're not going to is if you're throwing something purely on momentum, i.e. a flying or jumping type move, which is foolish and should be avoided where possible. You can make anything work if you can do it, but that's beside the point. But even in drop stepping, you are literally reconnecting with the ground on the moment of impact, and it's a hard reconnect. This is important. Our legs are built, are adapted well for locomotion, for squatting, for lunging, for jumping. This is what we're built to do. We are locomotive creatures. We happen to be particularly adapted for forward locomotion. So this idea of, if I'm raising with a strike, don't just casually stand up. That's not going to do any good. You literally have to explode up like you are coming out of a squat or a deadlift. You need to forcibly extend. If you're sinking on the front leg or sinking on the back leg, when you do that, that's fine, but when you're sinking, what are you doing? You're forcing that pressure into the earth. When you're sinking on the front leg, guess what your back leg should be doing? Your back leg should be actually helping push you forward. Now you can't really do that when you're going back, because if you force yourself back, unless you're doing a rear strike, sinking back and using the front leg to, in squat type fashion, to propel you, is just going to remove you from your frontal target. So if you're going backwards, that's fine. Otherwise, don't do that. But this is important. Use your legs. You go forward. It's not just that I'm shifting my weight forward. Push your weight forward. It's not that I'm just sinking my weight. Drop your weight and force your leg into the ground and force the stability and drive. If you're torquing, that's fine. Screw your feet into the ground and generate all of that torque you possibly can. Your engine is important to everything you do. Your hips are your intensity engine. Your shoulders are your complexity engine. Your upper body is made for manipulation. Your lower body is made for explosion and locomotion. Just food for thought. Talk to you guys later. Good journey.